What do you think is the leading contributor to greenhouse gas emissions and climate change?
I'd say probably like cars.
Carbon.
From what?
Automobiles, factories,
Okay.
oil.
Maybe like factories.
Factories and industrial business. Factories and stuff.
Yeah, cars.
Like factories and stuff.
Probably cars and factories. Big businesses.
Emissions from cars.
Factories of any sort, anything that causes harmful gases in the air today.
Nuclear plants.
How would you feel if I told you that gases emitted from animal agriculture contribute more than 50% of the world's climate change, compared to only 13% from the gases emitted by transportation?
It's actually crazy. Yeah, that's insane.
Then you know what? If the whole world were vegetarians, we wouldn't need so many animals. So maybe what we have to stop doing is, keeping all these cattle housed in rotten conditions, and fewer animals means fewer farts.
Wow. Even if you want to go vegan, probably.
Surprising. Really? Yeah. That makes sense because methane.
I'd be surprised.
Wow.
I'd be pretty shocked.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't even know that.
Most people are not aware of how detrimental animal agriculture really is to the environment. The greenhouse effect is a process by which thermal radiation from the planetary surface is absorbed by atmospheric greenhouse gases and is re-radiated in all directions. The most common greenhouse gases are water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and ozone. Greenhouse gases greatly affect the world we live in. How do animals contribute to greenhouse gas emissions? Domestic livestock such as cattle, buffalo, sheep, goats, and camels produce large amounts of CH4 as part of their normal digestive process. When animals' manure is stored or managed in lagoons or holding tanks, CH4 is produced. But greenhouse gases are not the only thing affected by animal agriculture. 5% of water consumed in the U.S. is by private homes. 55% of water consumed in the U.S. is for animal agriculture. Did you know that one hamburger requires 660 gallons of water to produce? That's the equivalent of 2 months' worth of showers. 477 gallons of water are required to produce 1 pound of eggs. Almost 900 gallons of water are needed to produce 1 pound of cheese, and 1,000 gallons of water are needed to produce 1 gallon of milk. Meanwhile, parts of our country are facing massive droughts. Factory farm lagoons emit toxic gases such as ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, and methane. Health effects associated with the gases from factory farms include headache, shortness of breath, wheezing, and excessive coughing. Animal waste contains disease-causing pathogens such as Salmonella, E. coli, Cryptosporidium, and fecal coliform, which can be 10 to 100 times more concentrated than in human waste. More than 40 diseases can be transferred to humans through manure. Large-scale animal factories often give animals antibiotics to promote growth or to compensate for the illnesses resulting from crowded conditions. These antibiotics are entering the environment and food chain, contributing to the rise of antibiotic-resistant bacteria and making it harder to treat human diseases. Runoff of chicken and hog waste from factory farms in Maryland and North Carolina is believed to have contributed to the outbreaks of Neisseria and Phacedia, killing millions of fish and causing skin irritation, short-term memory loss, and other cognitive problems in local people. Large hog farms emit hydrogen sulfide, a gas that most often causes flu-like symptoms in humans, but at high concentrations can lead to brain damage. In 1998, the National Institute of Health reported that 19 people died as a result of hydrogen sulfide emissions from manure pits. Manure from dairy cows is thought to have contributed to the disastrous cryptosporidium contamination of Milwaukee's drinking water in 1993, which killed more than 100 people, made 400,000 people sick, and resulted in $37 million in lost wages and productivity. In this country, roughly 29 million pounds of antibiotics, about 80% of the nation's antibiotics use in total, are added into animal feed every year. Mainly to speed livestock growth, this widespread use of antibiotics on animals contributes to the rise of resistant bacteria, making it harder to treat human illnesses. Ammonia, a toxic form of nitrogen released in gas form during waste disposal, can be carried more than 300 miles through the air before being dumped back onto the ground or into the water, where it causes algal blooms and kills fish. Waste lagoons often break, leak, or overflow, sending dangerous microbes, nitrate pollution, and drug-resistant bacteria into water supplies. In 2011, an Illinois hog farm spilled 200,000 gallons of manure into a creek, killing over 110,000 fish. Nutrients in animal waste can cause algal blooms, which use up oxygen in the water, contributing to a dead zone in the Gulf of Mexico where there's not enough oxygen to support aquatic life. The dead zone fluctuates in size each year, extending a record 8,500 square miles during the summer of 2002 and stretching over 7,700 square miles during the summer of 2010. What will happen if we don't alter the way we abuse animal agriculture? Climate change causes a rise in temperatures. High temperatures are to blame for an increase in heat-related deaths and illnesses, rising seas, increased storm intensity, and many of the other dangerous consequences of climate change. Rising temperatures are changing weather and vegetation patterns across the globe, forcing animal species to migrate to new polar areas in order to survive. The rapid nature of climate change is likely to exceed the ability of many species to migrate or adjust. Experts predict that 1/4 of Earth's species will be headed back for extinction by 2050 if warming trend continues at this rate. Scientific research indicates that climate change will cause hurricanes and tropical storms to become more intense, lasting longer and unleashing stronger winds and causing more damage to coastal ecosystems and communities. Sea levels have risen between 4 and 8 inches over the past 100 years. Current projections suggest that sea levels could continue to rise between 4 inches and 36 inches over the next 100 years. 36-inch increase in the sea level would swamp every city on the east coast of the United States from Miami to Boston.